Good afternoon. Today we are going to look at three forms used to express past habits. Before we start, let's do a quick overview. To express a past habit, we use the simple past, such as, she always passed her tests in grad school. We also use used to plus a verb, such as, she used to call at 3 p.m. And lastly, we also use would plus a verb. For example, he would drive very fast in high school. Let's look at the simple past. The simple past is used for past habits, repeated actions, or states. For example, she always studied for her test. And they went to the library many times. And she liked her classes. She always studied for her test is an example of a past habit. They went to the library many times is an example of a past repeated action. And she liked her classes is an example of a past state. To make a question, we add do before the subject. But please remember that do absorbs the tense. That is, we omit ed from the verb. For example, did he study math? To negate, we add do not or never before the verb. For example, she did not study art. Please remember that do absorbs the tense. That is, we omit ed from the verb. So we say, she did not study art. Lastly, we also can add never before the verb, as in, they never studied at home. Now let's look at used to plus a verb. Used to plus a verb is used for past habits, repeated actions, or states. For example, they used to talk to each other a lot. And she used to call many times a week. Lastly, she used to love him. They used to talk to each other a lot is a past habit. And she used to call many times a week is a past repeated action. Lastly, she used to love him is a past state. To make a question, we add do before the subject. For example, he used to write a letter once a month. We're going to add do. But please remember that do absorbs the tense. That is, we omit the ed from used to. So, did he used to write a letter once a month? To negate, we add do not or never before used to. For example, he did not used to write letters once a month. Once again, please remember that do absorbs the tense. That is, we omit ed from used to. Also, we can add never before used to. For example, they never used to call each other a lot. Now let's look at would plus a verb. Would plus a verb is used for past habits, repeated actions, but it is not used for states. For example, they would play together a lot when they were kids. And he would drive fast to work many times in high school. They would play together a lot when they were kids is an example of a past habit. And he would drive fast to work many times in high school is an example of a past repeated action. Please keep in mind that we cannot use would plus a verb for past states. For example, he would have a fast car is not possible to use because have is a past state. and we can't express that with would plus a verb. Instead, use the simple past or used to. Please also note that would needs a past time reference. For example, when they were kids and in high school. Now let's do a quick review. The simple past is used for past habits, past repeated actions, or past states. For example, she always passed her tests in grad school is a past habit, and she was always a hardworking student is a past state. Used to plus a verb is used as well for past habits, past repeated actions, or past states. For example, she used to love him is a past state. And she used to call many times a week is a past repeated action. Would plus a verb is used for past habits, past repeated actions, but it is not used for past states. So we can say, he would drive very fast in high school. That's a past habit. But we cannot say, he would have a very fast car, because that's a past state, and we cannot use would plus a verb to express a past state. Well, this concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in class.